Gender-based violence is a spectrum of behaviors: verbal, emotional, physical, sexual, spiritual, financial. But what ties them all together is the intent, the tactic. Usually around something having to do with someone's gender identity, their orientation, their sexuality.
Gender-based violence looks like me walking here this evening to film a PSA on gender-based violence and being whistled at and called a China doll.
What I wish was included more in the conversations around violence is the violence that Black women experience.
Not being able to dress the way I want to at work or in public spaces because I don't feel safe.
Trans folks not being able to use the restroom that they want.
Social media, where there's such things as fat shaming or slut shaming.
When we look at the Me Too movement, absolutely it was powerful, it's important, but it's centered around, cisgender white women.
What happens if there's folks who are living with disabilities? What happens if there's folks from different economic backgrounds?
Hay muchísimas barreras que impiden que la gente pida ayuda, pero ahora imagina todas esas familias, todas esas personas que no tienen papeles, o sea, están acá indocumentados.
Survivors are everywhere, and on any given day, if you're interacting with people, you're running into multiple survivors, and I don't really think people understand that. And it's not just women, it's not just LGBTQ individuals, men as well. Belief systems are what cause violence. It's not drugs, it's not alcohol, it's not stress, jealousy, insecurity, it's a belief system.
A sense of entitlement and ownership over another body.
I think that one of the forces, the driving forces behind gender-based violence is toxic masculinity, and toxic masculinity isn't something that's just harmful to women, it's harmful to the men who exhibit those behaviors.
They have these messages instilled in them where they think these things are okay. And this isn't to justify the actions, but understand we as a society have told them that what they're doing is okay.
A community of healing and support is a community that holds itself accountable. It's a community that believes people when they come forward and say that they've been harmed, even if we were the ones that committed the harm.
We need to be open, honest, ready to have conversations, acknowledge the harm that people have experienced, and also acknowledge the fact that we can all also cause harm too.
When you're surrounded by a bunch of men who normalize this language of violence against women, you are essentially the tall grass that the lion hides in before they pounce on their prey. At the very least, you're providing protection and camouflage. We have to hold each other accountable for this type of oppression and this type of abuse to end.
Healing to me is connected to empathy.
I'm a survivor. The thing that victims and survivors are not given is credit to thrive.
Healing is different for every person because how one person heals can't, or it doesn't define how someone else will.
The more we open it up and decolonize what violence looks like, the more power we have to say, this is violence, this hurts me, and I will not compromise on it continuing to be in my community. And if we can do that, oh honey.
It's starting at a young age and teaching what consent means, and it's not always in the sexual context. It's asking someone for a hug or a high five or respecting their space.
It's so important for us to be bystanders, and it's so important for us to be advocates and friends and honestly just concerned people.
A community of healing is one where we support survivors and we don't shame them. It's one where we work to stop these issues before they happen and don't only look to respond to them after they happen.
如果你是性别暴力的受害者，不要害怕，这不是你一个人应该承担的负担，有很多资源和人愿意帮助你。
There's so much good work being done in New York. All we have to do is tap into the healing that's already happening, which isn't to say that we're perfect and that we don't need to do anything else, right? So first understanding that we have such fertile ground and there are so many people tending to the dirt. We're talking about humans who know hurt, having the support of other humans who know hurt, to find healing.
I believe you, and I support you.
I see you, I hear you, I believe you.